Alright, hello everybody. Just coming on. So, one more thing to do and then I'll start today's sketch. So, say hello or wherever you're at and get going in a moment. I guess that'll do. So, start off with our nice and clean. Start off with the shape, right? So I think I'd like to use, I'll stick with yellow, that's fine. Hello everybody. Front button. I'll say that maybe, and something there, something under there, and something trailing, just to use up the space a little better. Welcome everybody coming in. There we go, I think that's a good shape. See potential there. So let's grab paper towel, dry it off a little bit. And then we can start jumping into drying it off. So what I'm doing here is, what I've been doing the last couple of days, some original ships. So starting off with an abstract shape like the one I just made, I'm going to sketch in with another color some of the ideas I have for the details and go from there. Let's see, let's reload that page, reload you, and jump over to here. Make sure that's muted. Yep, muted. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. So another one of those kind of airship, speeder, sparrow type things. Everybody coming in. Let me know if there's any questions as you're coming in. Let's see if I can make another nice one today. Been pretty happy with the first couple that I did. la. Hello. Everybody coming in? So how are we doing out there on the inter tubes? Is there anything interesting going on? Hello. So let me know if there's any questions. I'm just trying to get one of these done today before I have to go up to school for my afternoon figure drawing class that I teach. Salty, it's very late. You should go back to bed. Yep, you should go back to bed. It's very late. What would your mother say? Exactly. This should be more extreme this way, huh? Oh yeah? It's very late to be talking about physics. I kind of like these basic ideas here. Throw a fin on the back. It's not an animal. let's get this dried off real quick. Hurry back. So I'm drawing a vehicle, not an animal. Person that was asking. I forget who already. But I just thought I would do one of these sketches before I had to go teach figure drawing at the university that I'm at. Yeah, usually if you tell it to update, it's going to update whether you want it to or not. So you have to choose wisely. But I'm not sure what exactly I said when you took off. It doesn't tell me really when people leave, just when they come in. So, yeah, might be more specific than that if you want a more specific answer. Get this water out of the way till I need it later. What's my favorite song? I don't know if I really have a favorite song. Well, I don't really think about music that way as much. I don't even have a favorite color. Which some people find unusual. I just don't think about color that way, as an example. Bosch is doing great. He's outside. Oh, well, thanks, Wooden Ferret. Yeah, this is just really a sketch. I'm just trying to take a lot of things that I've been studying over the last year and start really applying them to actual work. So I'll probably still be mixing in a lot of the studies and things, but I want to start doing more on the imagination end of things. He's been chasing squirrels in the yard. I do need to take him to a dog park, though. I don't think the squirrels appreciate it that much though. So, and he's learned that word actually. So if I say squirrel, he gets very excited because it means that he gets to go out and chase his new friends, try and catch them before they go up a tree, which they've so far been much too fast. So, that's always a problem with the squirrels. They're very fast. Alright, so this goes over there. And just gonna loop around here. Oh, he's outside, so maybe something certainly could look at is doing a Bosch sketch. Yeah, for those that don't know, Bosch is my dog that are new in here. Sometimes he's actually in here when I'm live streaming. I can show a picture of it, but he's actually outside at the moment. Because I'm going to have to bring him in eventually when it's time for me to go to teach my class. So hello, everybody coming in. Hello. Then quickly, what? Yeah, my class starts at 3:30 p.m., so 2 hours from now. So the idea here is to get this all the way done before then. And the video done and everything too, so that's all I think pretty doable. Sort of. I mean, I have to commute down there. I have to prepare. You have to put on, get all my stuff ready to go. So if I get this done And say by 2:20, that gives me just enough time to do the video, throw all my stuff together, drive up to the school, and get ready for my class there. So I'm not on campus, I'm at home, so I have to actually get up there. But it should be enough time. I mean, we're doing okay, so. I'll give this one some saddlebags too. But yeah, so it should be done in the next 30 or 40 minutes with this. That's kind of the goal. Hey, I got a new subscriber on the YouTubes. Yeah, so we're just detailing, process of detailing this up, and then I'll post the time lapse. I think I actually might make doing the process of one of these for the next My Art Professor monthly series piece for October. I think that could be fun. I've had a YouTube channel for a while. It's just My Art Professor. If you look up that on YouTube, I don't have a lot there. I am live streaming over there though at the moment, and I should put more up there. I just have been need to think about how I want to use that resource. I've mostly put most of my effort online into my Instagram and my teaching site. You know, as you know, Salty, there's a bunch of free stuff there in addition to the paid content. So once I get the 2-point class done, I'm going to add some more into that. I just need to sit down and focus. That may be my entire Wednesday is sitting down to work on that 2-point course. After I live stream in the morning. But that's kind of the current plan. Hey, look, there's Salty on YouTube. I'm also broadcasting over on Twitch and DLive. I've got more subscribers on DLive than anywhere else, I think, because it's a newer platform, so it's a little more simple to make it not as difficult for you to find new people. But that's where I'm at over on these places. Hey, look, there's Salty. Yeah, the YouTube screen's actually furthest away. You may be the only person watching over there, because I haven't put any effort into that at all. I put a few sample videos from my courses on there a long time ago, and then I'm over there streaming a bit. You can probably hear me okay, right, Salty? And you can see what I look like. And there you are, you're back. Except I haven't put much effort into the YouTube channel. I just figured out that I can live stream to a whole bunch of places at one time. I thought I was limited to just 2, but it turns out the restream.io thing will let me stream to a few different places, but I've not really put any effort into the YouTube side of things. So there's just not much going on over there. Yeah, there's there's the live streams I've been doing. Hopefully I haven't picked my nose in any of them. Alright, so it's looking okay so far. Let's get some local tints in here. And then some shadow. And then some final details. Hello, everybody coming in. Sorry. Hello, everybody coming in. Adding some local color to this little ship thing, and hopefully bring it to a half decent finish at least. And then do a little detailing on it. So local color just means like the actual color that we would name something, like brown or red or whatever. Now I'm using waterproof ink for the line drawing, so it doesn't get all fucked up by the watercolor I'm using. How do you survive as an artist? Well, there's multiple things you can do. One of them is just to be really skilled, but I think a lot of artists, they neglect something very important. It's something actually I did a lot of this year and I've been learning about over the last year, but where you need to understand marketing. You need to how to put yourself in front of your clients in a way that makes you desirable for them, that you're there to help them solve their problems. And that's probably one of the most important lessons artists can learn that gets ignored if you want to be a freelancer. Because a lot of artists like to think that the client is there to solve their problems, not the other way around. And you kind of change that attitude that you're there to help them out, I think that makes a really big difference for how people receive your work. You don't have to be the best artist in the world. You just have to be good enough, but you also have to be there to help the client, not just yourself. And a lot of artists, they're kind of trying to get the client to be their helper, not the other way around. And so the more you can make it easier for your potential clients to work with you, if you're on time, you give them good ideas that they can really use, the more likely they are to keep using you. Because they don't need to have the best of the best on every single project. They just need people that are smart and competent and willing to work hard. And so you have to be able to put yourself in front of people in such a way that it shows that you are reliable, that you can solve their problems for them, so it makes everything easier to work with you. And a lot of people don't seem to think about that very clearly. But as I've thought about that more and more, I've gotten more and more clients. I just had a client call me, so this weekend, did a bunch of boards for him. Goodbye, Selfie. Coming in. So let's get some tone on here. Now we've got the basic local colors on. Color blind, well, it depends on the kind of color blindness you have. If it's pretty severe, I would focus more on being a line artist or a black and white type artist. It does cause problems, but you can work around them. It helps to have a reliable friend that help you work with the color difficulties. A lot of times if you're colorblind, they'll recommend that you use a limited palette, so colors that you can tell what's going on, like some people use a purple, or not purple, like a warm red to like a warm yellow palette instead of a full-blown palette, and that can make a big difference for people that are colorblind. So that would be something to try, because there are colorblind artists. I'm not one of them. I have, I really actually have really good vision, and I see, the full range of colors. So I don't know exactly, but I have known colorblind artists, and some of them really struggle with it because they don't understand the influence that the colorblindness has on them. But I'd say, you might want to emphasize the drawing more than the color. Working with working more with value than you worry about the color, and that can make so the black and white part, not so much the color part, and that can be a way of working around that difficulty. Yeah, so or be a sculptor, like if you want to do 3D. So maybe if you like ZBrush and sculpting or 3D modeling, you can also do that. You don't need color for that. For what I'm doing right now, these take about an hour. I've been working on this for 35 minutes. So it should be done soon. I'm actually hurrying a little bit just because I have to get ready for teaching today. But So that's where it's taken me 35 minutes so far to do this one. I'd probably do a nicer job if I was really thinking about, laying it with the pencil. This is more of like a sketch. So I put down a smudge of yellow, which you might be able to see around it. And teaching at college is a lot of fun. I really like it. I always find it funny, though. A lot of professors like to complain, and I always find it to be somewhat silly because it's one of the depending on the school you go to. I've taught at some really bad, negative places, but depending on the school you go to, I mean, it can be a lot of fun. It's very simple. Summers are off. I definitely prefer gouache over acrylic. I don't really like acrylic, which means I probably should spend more time with it. But it's not one of my. I don't like acrylic all that much. I can use it, but I don't really like it. Think about what next to do for like a study project. Maybe something like a master copy or a film color copy. Have I ever used acrylic? I have used acrylic. I just don't like it. I had to teach it last year at a university, and I was reminded why I didn't like it very much. I'm going to brighten these reds up a little bit. Just hope I don't mess up. I'm actually not that experienced with watercolor, relatively speaking. I'm teaching figure drawing today at Ringling College of Art and Design in Florida, which is a really great school. Quite honestly, I think the talent level of the students I've seen here is maybe higher than I've seen anywhere, including my undergraduate university. It was pretty good. What tool do I recommend for a beginner? I would say, pen and ink. Draw a lot with ink because it makes you be more precise. I'd also say, pencils, of course, are really good. I wouldn't necessarily do digital for beginners. I think it can get in your way. But I do like digital. I'm just been trying to do a lot more of my own personal work with the natural media, and people seem to like that. I think more red was better. Should wait for that to dry though. So, simple tools better. I think it's more about what you're trying to learn. You're studying drawing or anatomy or things like that. That's like more important than the necessary tool that you're using. But I do think traditional media is probably better to practice with. Get some details on here. What do we got? 0.8, 0.3, there we go. Yeah, so I teach at this university, which is really great. I also teach privately, and I have a bunch of video courses, well, a couple of video courses on my teaching site, so if you haven't been over there, it's right here at the top of my screen. The first two courses are on perspective. There's some finishing touches that need to be made to the 2-point perspective class, but the theory is all there. So if anyone's interested in that, head over to myartprofessor.com. I also teach live courses privately. So I've been doing those on Saturday nights for a while, and have a good little group of students I'm working with. So if that's something you'd like to do, Get on the mailing list. The next term will start in January, so it's a little bit ways down the road. But get on the mailing list, you'll know when the sign up for that goes up. Alright, what kind of details do we need on this thing? You can also sign up for a free account on the site where I have a bunch of free stuff that you can check out. So, if you're not sure if you'd want to subscribe right away or not. Now you can check out what the free stuff is. Of course, I enjoy it. Hopefully other people like it too. Suppose that's possible. Oh, with the hair dryer. Yeah, it's a little bit noisy. Animals probably don't like it, but does dry off those watercolors really, really fast. So I don't have to wait and wait and wait. So, but yeah, so it's a pretty handy thing to have available. Oh, thanks, appreciate that. Well, I like doing it. First of all, I like making things and putting them out there. I just enjoy that process. It's interesting for me to find out, what people like, which I think is interesting about the social media thing, is you can kind of test out what people respond to, which can give you a lot of information about maybe what you're doing well or what you can improve on. So I think it's just like the things that I see around me and the people that I know, and working with students is a lot of fun, so that kind of adds to my motivation to do more, so I can help them out. So, yeah, I have both, as I was explaining earlier, I have both private and university students that I work with. So I teach at Ringling College of Art and Design in Florida, and just started this year. And just trying to figure out how the courses work and how I fit in, and hopefully be a nice positive long-term relationship. Wrong button. So, so I like it. Hopefully they like me too. So yeah, hopefully this is coming along okay. I don't know if this one's quite as good as last time. I was trying out something a little bit different today. I think actually this wing should like stop right about there, so maybe it should be shorter, but I think it's fine for a simple sketch. This feels like this wing's a little bit too long. Should be a little shorter. Guess it's something I could fix in Photoshop. Yeah, I think we're almost done here. I don't know if anyone has any suggestions for this. Okay, about 45 minutes. A little simpler thing. There's not as much like detailing on the sides as the last two, but still fun, I think. Guess we could use a little bit of paneling or something along the wing or the blade or whatever this thing's called. No problem. Well, I mostly just, draw and paint and teach. It's kind of what I do. The teaching, doesn't take up that much time, technically speaking. So maybe like 20 hours a week. Because I'm in class for 18 and a certain amount of time for preparation and for grading. And then, I have time, if there's freelance, I'll prioritize that over some other things, for my free time. Teaching comes first for the schedule, but, I can always make room during the week or the weekend for my clients. And I don't really think about relaxing just because I like what I do. So I don't really take a lot of breaks or anything. I just kind of do this stuff. I like doing it. It's relaxing. So, this is kind of who I am as a person. And this is my focus, right? So, if you have a thing that you like doing, you find the time to do it. A lot of times I think with the motivation would come, people lose motivation for art or they have an art block. It's because they don't have some kind of project, something they sit down, they know they can work on no matter what else, what other distractions may happen, or they run out of ideas. And I think it helps to have some kind of project, which is why I started doing these morning studies. So if I didn't have anything that I wanted to do specifically, I knew that I had this in front of me and that I could just work on this. And so that's where these sketches and things have come from, was that plan to do these studies of vehicles and architecture and thing every single morning. And having done that, now I'm like, well, now I want to start making more original things based off of those studies. things I could maybe put in my portfolio or use in some way. So, well, I think it's harder to come up with original projects. What is, what's a big portfolio you want to make and how you're going to use it. Study projects I think are easier to come up with. So, like, I knew I just wanted to improve in this area, so I, collected a lot of images and just started drawing them as a way of studying how things look, so I could then add that into the things that I do. But I think I am actually done for today. So I'm going to put this up and process it out there. And again, if you haven't been there, do check out my teaching site at the top of the screen, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks anyone that came over on